Christmas is coming and you're gonna need to make a few gifts, and these will do. I hate long videos, so let's get started. I'll show you how to make this one first, all right? Less details and much faster to build. But because I know how popular these are going to be, let me show you first how to make a reusable pattern out of cardboard that you can use multiple times. Let's do it. Now, did you see how easy that was? I just glued the paper patterns onto a piece of cardboard and then punched the stitching holes, cut the shape out, and now you go ahead and do the same for the other pieces of the pattern. For this small one, you will need about 2 square feet of leather and a number 5 zipper, no more than 12 inches or 30 centimeters long. Before we move on, note, for this bag I will only mark and punch the stitching holes for these 2 stitching lines here. Alright? Don't ask me why, it will make sense later. Now let's use the cardboard patterns to cut the leather and punch the stitching holes. You got that, right? I just used a scratch owl to transfer the shape of the pattern onto the leather, marked the stitching holes, and then simply cut on the lines and punch the holes. There's nothing to it. Next, let's attach the zipper, and don't worry, if you follow my method, it will be super easy. Just have a look. Okay, one thing before we move on. Although the stitching holes are marked in the pattern, I want to use a multi-prong puncher which does not match the spacing on the pattern. So I'll make my own holes now, all right? Punch through the leather and the zipper at the same time. Next, let's use cement glue to hold these two bits in place. After, we will use some sandpaper to even those edges and then paint them with special edge leather paint. Next, I recommend you scarf the edges along the two stitching lines here. Let's be clear, you don't have to do this part, but it will help get this nice shape later. You're gonna need patience and a very sharp blade. But just let me show you. So scarf these 2-3 parts, all right, along the edges of the main side here, all right, basically where these 3 pieces will be stitched together. Now we're gonna use double tape or leather glue to attach the zipper at both ends of this large piece here. with the zipper piece attached to the main body, let's turn this whole thing inside out and then attach both sides using the holes we already made in the beginning. Once you are done, turn the whole thing on the outside again and take a moment to reflect on all the new things you learned today. Here you were just thinking you're getting a pattern, instead you got so much more. You're very welcome. let's move on. Okay, now let's talk about this beautiful thing right here. I used two different types of leather for this bag. 2.5 square feet of 6 ounces chrome tan leather for the dark brown parts, and about 1.5 square feet of 6 ounces vegetable tan leather for the lighter bits, alright? You're also gonna need two magnetic closures to hold the ends stuck to the body. Completely optional, by the way. You can use a rivet or stitch them instead, I don't mind. And then two sun brown buttons for the pocket covers right here. Snap buttons will also work, entirely up to you. And the zipper, of course, yeah, same size as before. Before we move on, I need to tell you the build process is going to be a little different, alright? Unlike before, I punch every stitching holes in advance except where the zipper attaches to the leather, alright? Right here in the middle. Every other stitching holes you need to do right now. Also, this time you don't need to skive the edges, so you know that's out of the way in case you didn't enjoy that too much. I will start again with the zipper, alright? Use double tape to temporarily attach it to the zipper piece, okay? Mark the stitching line and then punch the holes. Stitch around the center just like you did with this guy, and you're done, just like that. Let's leave these parts on the side for now and focus on the main body. First, attach the bottom piece like I'm about to here, and then we're gonna move on to the side pockets. There are 4 small tabs, and if you can, I recommend using a very thin leather for them. All right, I use a 3 ounces leather. I think some scraps from the scrap box, they did the work just fine, and these will get stitched on the inside first, like I'm about to do right now. After you stitched both in place, you will need to fold them and stitch them in between the main piece and the inside panel. It's much easier to understand if you just watch me do it. All these pockets need now is the cover, all right? So let's do the cover next. After you do both pockets, you can stitch the sides into place. This guy and this guy, just like you did before. Now let's use the two remaining stitching lines to sew the zipper piece in place at the top right here. One stitch here, one stitch there. Congratulations, you are done. This one took longer than the first one, but I think it was an easier build. And it looks much better. Oh my, look at the watch, almost a whole hour, but fun. And talking about fun things, clicking buttons, always fun. So start with the subscribe button and then maybe, let me know in the comments what tutorial I should do next. Thank you for watching. Be safe. Peace.